Hey guys, welcome back to Football Manager 2015. This is the official start to the series here in FM15 with Newcastle, and I'm going to give you the first overview of my first 6 or so months in charge. Part 1 usually starts, I know, at the start of the season in the summer. However, I decided this time to actually give you a bit of content to start with. No fanning around in the summer. Let's just get straight into it. Transfers, league positions, results, goals, things that matter, So this is FMC, so things might look a little bit different. So I'm going to get it out straight away. This is not a skin or anything like that, because, we're still in beta as well at the time of recording this. I don't know if you can see that there. But this is just Football Manager Classic. This is the mode I prefer. If you don't like it, sorry. So this is the table then. So we're Newcastle and we're in 3rd place. Not really expecting it, and I don't know how we've... Well, I do know how we've done it, and I'll explain more in a moment. But let's just have a quick look then at the league table. Now I've played, at the time of recording this, about 3.5 seasons, so I kind of know what happens in the future, but I'm not going to spoil anything like that. But from what I can tell, is that the beta and just FM15 in general is grossly unrealistic. Liverpool being top, for example, and by a clear distance as well. I mean, 9 points from Chelsea. In second there, we're just 3 points behind them. We've actually got a better goal difference than Chelsea, and, let's be honest here, Chelsea, I personally think, could very well go unbeaten in real life this season. Unbeaten season, match Arsenal and Preston, I think. Well, they don't count, they were Victorian. Man City in 4th, Everton in 5th, and we've got, oddly enough, we've got Man United and Arsenal. I guess Man U not much of a surprise. I think Van Gaal is still... No, he's not, he's been sacked. Someone who always seems to jump, or make the jump in the end, to the Premier League and to the bigger clubs, shall we say, is Unai Emery. Let's see, when did he join? He joined, wow, just before Christmas. So if we just have a look here, in the past positions, if it wants to work, there we go. And I always do that. I always click on the name, not the actual thing. Come on. Hurry up. There we go. Yeah, as you can see, Manchester United did not have a particularly good start to the season. They were, dare I say, well, no, I was going to say as you expect, but let's put it this way. Game week 17, they were 14th. And I think that was probably where Van Gaal was sacked. Emery was brought in, and as per usual in FM15, I was going to say FM15, but I think just in FM in general, there is always that CPU team rise, where they will eventually do well. Let's compare us, for example. As you can see, we've been in 3rd since game week 12. We were actually top for a while. Should give you an idea of just the absolutely insane amount of joy I've been getting out of this team. Yeah, Arsenal perhaps the biggest surprise there. I don't know what's happened. I think Arsene Wenger is still there. Yes, he is. Just not working for them at the moment. QPR in 9th. For some reason, they're really not overpowered, but overrated, dare I say, again. The rest is probably, as you were, maybe Stoke. I think you've swapped Stoke with West Brom, and that might look normal. But I can't really say anything else to that, really. I know, obviously, Southampton and West Ham doing a lot better in real life than, a lot of people predicted. Do I think they'll stay as they are? No, I don't. They will fade away. In particular, I think West Ham will. The amount of times we've seen Sam Allardyce's team come out and just, come out all guns blazing at the start of the season and do really well, and then by Christmas, the sort of where you'd expect them to be. Bolton did that many times. Not so much with Blackburn and Newcastle, certainly not with Newcastle, but certainly with Bolton, so I don't think it's anything new personally. So let's have a look then at our squad. In fact, before I do that, I will go over my transfers, in fact. Oh god, it's all new, this is weird, transfer history, okay. So I haven't... I'm also going to include January in this as well. This is the January transfer window. So the players I've got rid of first. I've sent young players Ferguson, Armstrong and Satka on loan. I sold Paul Dummett to Burnley for 1.3 million. I don't think he's that great, to be honest with you. I mean, in real life he seems to be doing an okay job on this. I'm not a fan. Now, don't I look like a right idiot? In fairness, Jose Perez here, he did very... I mean, he played like... to be honest with you, I didn't give him a chance. I didn't particularly rate him, and again, you'll see why, because he simply just couldn't force his way into the team. And I made a healthy profit on him. I doubled my money. You know, we signed him for 1.5 million before I joined. I sold him for 3 million. Can't complain. Johan Gouffran. This one was, again, like, he was all right, but you know, I expected a little bit better. And CSK Moscow came in with a bid, and I was like, sure, go ahead. The rest I've sent on loan because I simply couldn't get rid of them. I don't rate CM de Jong. I think he's been dreadful for me. I don't rate Obertan. I'd never heard of this kid, so I just let him go. Sami Amiobi, I don't rate. You'll probably find a few of these do actually score earlier in the season. Vukic, or whatever you want to call him, not massive fan again. I didn't particularly rate him, so I just let him go on free. So the players were brought in then. So we have, if you're still in the beta, I don't know if this will be the case by the time the full game's released, but if you see this guy up for sale, get him. And I truly do mean get him. He has been absolutely incredible for me. Erby Emanuelson, I did mention him in the last video in part 0, the little intro video that I did before this. I said I really rated him as a player, and well, I mean, look at those stats down there. I mean, okay, he's only got 2 goals, but he has 10 assists. This is now February. He's been awesome. And also, I love a good versatile player. He can play just about anywhere. I mean, he can play anywhere on the left-hand side. He's fairly capable in the midfield as well. Even down the right side, you know, he'll still do a decent job. So yeah, look at the value straight away. I signed him for just under 2 million, and I thought that was pretty decent. So he was the only summer signing I actually made. The rest you're going to see now were in the winter. John Flanagan I got on loan from Liverpool. This one was just really to bolster the back line. Obviously I sold Dummett, so I just needed someone else to come in. Flanagan fit the bill, and I thought, why not? You know, it's a win-win situation. I don't particularly spend a high amount of money on him, and he could do really well. The other one was Joel Campbell. Arsene Wenger didn't seem to want him, really, so I was like, I'll have him. You know, he's available on loan. I was tempted to get him to buy him properly, but I just felt loan first. Maybe there is something I'm not seeing. Next one was Walter Gargano from Napoli. This one was more just... I see this one as being a bit of a stepping stone, a bit of a progression signing. He won't probably hang around too long, I don't think. I mean, they are pretty decent stats, I've got to be honest. I mean, his technicals aren't great, but you know, I mean, you can't argue with the work rate, with the bravery, with even, I mean, natural fitness and stamina. You know, they're always good, especially when you have, you know, a steady, experienced head. I mean, 70 caps for Uruguay. It's not bad at all, is it? So yeah, I think for 750k, not a bad signing. At this point, I haven't spent too much. But that would change as I signed these 2 players. So Scott Sinclair was available for cheap from Man City. To be honest with you, I've not used him all that much. I mean, okay, this is only... I mean, okay, he hasn't even started yet. His match fitness is going to be a bit of a problem, I fear, due to, you know, obviously he's not going to have much in Man City, so we're already way behind by the time he gets here. You know, the problem with wingers is they need a lot of pace, they need a lot of speed, and if they haven't got match fitness, they're really going to struggle to get in the game, and they're going to be pretty much void. So I'm going to have to carefully monitor Sinclair here, because you know, say you're already on the back foot when you come to that. And definitely the surprise for me was Andre Ayew, or Ayew. I'm not quite sure his pronunciation. I've always thought it was Ayew, sorry, but apparently it's Ayew. I've been told. I couldn't believe I could get this lad for 8 million. He's a stalwart on FM. He has been one of those players, you know, that has been highlighted in Football Manager, saying, you know, to get him if you get a chance, you know. And you know, he's doing it in real life as well. He's a pretty damn good player, along with his brother. I think Jordan Ayew, his brother, may have a bit more recognition in Football Manager, but I still really do rate this lad. Again, massively versatile. Can even play up front if I need him to. And he takes number 10 shirt. I simply could not turn down 8.25 million, especially considering I'd essentially raised that by selling Gouffran, Ayose and Dummett. So that's the signings then. So this is the squad. So just to give you an idea of goals and things, there's only one player standing out here, and that is this chap. Facundo, I'm going to guess Ferreira. It's kind of ironic, really. He's the top goal scorer, and he's the league's top goal scorer, and I can't even pronounce his damn name. classic Football Manager, I suppose. He's finishing 16. You probably wouldn't think that. You think it'd be like 20, judging by his performances this season. He's been outstanding. Obviously, minus substitute performances, that is 18 and 23. Not a bad return at all for a player on loan. 4 player of the matches, average rating of 7.3. He's damn good. And he just came from nowhere, absolutely nowhere. I just started him one time and he just scored a ton and just kept going, to be honest with you. Then we've got Riviere and Cisse holding the fort up well at the back. Holding the other centre-forward role quite nicely there with 7 apiece. And that's it really. Then you're down to Sissoko, Colaccini and Anita on 3. Obviously Joel Campbell has only just come in, so bear with him. Adam Campbell, I'm surprised that he isn't better. I recall him on a few FMs ago being like a properly top talent, like, you know, the next Wayne Rooney type. But on this, he just seems like a very average centre forward that might make it. I mean, I've not given much of a chance, to be honest, and he is still only 20 years old, but the signs aren't great, I've got to be honest. I like his physicals. I mean, okay, he's kind of short, I think. I mean, where is his height gone? Seems to disappear. I'm still getting used to FMC again, unfortunately. Should be some... Anyway, it doesn't matter. But he's a handy player to have. Will he make it, though, is another question. So now we're going to look at the schedule here, and we're going to just take you through a little walk through the season thus far. So you can, of course, have a look at a quick view here through the results. But I'll take you through. So we opened, bizarrely, with a Tyne-Wear derby victory, which is very good. Unfortunately, because of the terrible design here, you can't actually see the goal scorers, or you can just about make them out. We've got Stephen Taylor and Ferreira, and I think that's it. I think it might have been an own goal. This was, of course, back when there was a ton of own goals in the beta. I mean, I'm recording this now a few hours after the initial beta update has come out, so hopefully a lot of that's not been fixed as such. I don't think it was a massive problem. But Ferreira with the penalty, that was the first goal of the season under my reign. Pretty good, I thought. I thought this was a good start. Obviously, the team is changing all the time in this. Sammy Amiobi, for example, you know, the few chances I gave him. Jack Colback's another one. I'm not too sure. I mean, to call that like an own goal, you know, okay, yeah, it is an own goal. But what I mean is, you know, is that like planned? Was that pre-prepared by the game? You know, it's not like it's some dodgy own goal. It's a deflection. You know, you can't count them really. Annoyed to concede that goal there. But Stephen Taylor, I mean, that arguably should have been an own goal as well. Taylor getting the goal there, so that wrapped it up really. Sunderland never really gave us much of a chance after that. Also, it gave themselves a chance, I should say. Well, Stephen Taylor at the back there, man of the match, 8.4. Ferreira starting really well as well with an 8. I played Jose Perez, didn't do a lot. You'll start to see that through the progression of the save. We also beat Swansea. I mean, look at the start we had. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I'm not going to show you every goal, just to show. I'll just point out the big games and the big ones. Who scored here? So you have to squint. I think again there might be another own goal. Vernon Anita scored. He's been really good for me at the start. It was actually Riviere. Gylfi Sigurdsson massively overpowered apparently on this game. Been watching Chris Ormy's stream. He is. He's pretty good for him. Got to be honest. Check out all the FMers, by the way, on Twitch whilst we're here. I'll show you a few more goals here. Obviously, that's Riviere. That was his debut. Okay, it's not going to show the goals. Never mind. Okay, we'll skip that. We then beat Yeovil in the Capital One Cup. I played a half-arse team. Sammy Ambia. It's not showing the substitutes, which is a bit weird. I don't think. No, I don't think it is. Oh, doesn't matter. We then smashed Aston Villa 6-2. Ferreira with 2. Gouffran scored. Riviere scored again. You know, you can start to see a bit of a pattern here. Burnley 2-0. They never really offered much like they are in real life at the moment. I think they are pretty much cannon fodder at this stage. Not massively impressed by them. I think Sean Dyche is doing the best with what he's got, but yeah, not massively impressed by them. And we just waltzed through them here. Ferreira bagging another double. Then this was the first massive result of the season. This was a 1-0 victory over Manchester United. As you can see, we didn't have too many shots. They had way more clear-cut, shots on target. We had the one clear-cut chance. Obviously, this was a penalty. I'll show it anyway. I've heard a few people as well mention in the beta that goalkeepers aren't saving as many penalties as they like. I mean, could you maybe say De Gea should have it's Lindegaard should have saved that? I don't know. He dived the right way. He seemed to have everything there. I don't know. Cisse scored his first couple of goals for us under me as we put Blackpool out at the Capital One Cup, and then we had a crazy game against Arsenal here. I was kind of gutted, as you can see, Santi Cazorla with a 88th minute equaliser. Absolutely devastated again, as you can see. Now that I look back on it, there really was a lot of own goals. Per Mertesacker giving us the lead. I mean, look at the match chances. Arsenal 29 shots to our 9. But that's the kind of luck we were having. I will be honest and say, I've experienced a ton of luck in this. Things like strikers not finishing the chances, scrambles going all over. I mean, stuff like that as well. I don't quite know what the goalkeeper was doing there, but fair play to Cisse. I haven't particularly been FM'd, as is the saying, much yet. I think I will have. I mean, I think I've had one or two, but nothing that I can point to where I can go, oh my god, this is broken, screw this game. It seems to be happening in my favour most of the time. I'm not sure who this goalkeeper is. I don't know if Arsenal signed him, either on the game or in real life. But you can see Emmanuelson again putting himself about. I mean, I don't know what happened there, Taylor. The one thing I want to point out, and obviously again I don't know if this has been fixed in the update, and hopefully should be fixed by the time the full retail game comes out. Defenders don't seem to want the ball. I don't know what it is. Not even defenders actually, it's just players taking the ball, or not even taking the ball, just trying to attack it, but they do it very slowly. They don't seem to want it, if you know what I mean. You've got, say there'll be two players in a one-on-one, or versing each other in a race. One will be going significantly slower than the other, and that's not because one's being beat out by pace. It's just because one is just not trying. I don't get it. I don't know what it is. I've phrased that really badly. If you've actually seen it, hopefully we might even have a chance here to see it. But if it's sort of a race to the ball, one-on-one in big space, I find often, it's a terrible own goal, find that often one player doesn't look interested, the other one very much so. But there's all sorts of different scenarios. At this point I was also going defensive and contain and things. This is one of the... I mean, we have some problems with giving the ball away. That's my big worry, I guess, at the moment. We do like to give the ball away quite a bit. Not much Krul can do about that. I mean, could he have saved it? I don't know. Because one of the main bugs of the beta was, of course, goalkeepers not saving shots. If you follow me on Twitter, link in the description, I've talked about this many times where I've said, why can't goalkeepers just catch a ball? And I'm not talking about, a thunderbolt. I'm not expecting them to hold on to that. I'm talking about a floated ball in where no one's around them for several yards, and they punch it out for a corner, and you're like, mate, you could easily have caught that, no problem. I think it's been fixed anyway. Then we beat Hull 3-0. Drew at Goodison Park, not the worst result. Everton were going very well at that point. I think they were in the top 4, doing really well. I think the top 4 for most of the season, in fact, or until about November, was us, Chelsea, Liverpool and Everton. Obviously with Man U and Arsenal falling away. Then this just came from nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. We demolished Chelsea. I just cannot... I still to this day don't know what I did. When your worst player's on a 7.5 and that's your goalkeeper, then you're doing something right. But, I mean, look at that finish from Emmanuelson. What a goal that is. What a way to open your account. I knew as soon as he had that in his locker, I'd got a good player here. Obviously, I'll see how we utilise him over the next few years. Obviously, I might switch him to left back once I start to see his stats go down or anything like that. But one thing that I like to do is play very wide. I like to use Sissoko. I like to use Janmat as a wing back. I like to use... I drift that straight away. Who else do I like to use? I can't actually remember. So yeah, Emmanuelson. Oh yeah, it's just Emmanuelson and Sissoko. Very, very good wingers. I played them just as bog standard wingers, and obviously I say that whilst they play a straight ball through the middle. But yeah, maybe I'm abusing wingers a bit too much here. But who cares? It's doing me very well. Unfortunately, then we lost to Stoke. I did put out a bit of a half-assed team again. This was more evidence to me that players like Street here, Williamson, Iothe, Vukic, Gouffran just weren't cutting it for me. It's like, well, come on, you know, we just smashed Chelsea 4-0. Then players stepped up to the plate. Yeah, you can't beat Stoke 2-0. Come on, sorry, you can't beat Stoke. They beat us 2-0. What's that about? Then I changed the team up. Got a nice 1-0 win at Leicester. Then a few draws. This is when things started to change a bit. 1-1 at West Ham. Not a bad result. Yeah, it's okay, I guess. Slightly better result against Stoke as well, 1-1. Ferreira scoring again. QPR, really good. I know that sounds really crap, but my God, QPR are an annoying team. Vargas, don't let that rating fool you. He was really good. Charlie Austin, yeah, okay, he had his goals here, but I think the one was Vargas again. I noticed it after his Liverpool performance, and I thought he's going to cause us problems. And then, shock, really. First defeat in the Premier League was to Southampton, who aren't doing, well, they're doing okay. But I think that is an own goal from Tim Krul, if I recall. Yes, it is. Then Tadic scores. That's 2-0. And, yeah, we just didn't start, really. Ferreira not firing, one of the few times where he just didn't get going at all. Not a great game, to be honest. I mean, admittedly, you can't vouch for that. I mean, yeah, a free kick off the post back onto your goalkeeper. I mean, you know your luck's out in your game, and there is what I'm talking about goalkeepers not necessarily catching the ball, but just being a bit thick. You know, it's like, would you really punch that well, not even that way, just there are better options than what I think Krul did there. And I've seen several people talk about how that has just cost them many games, many points, and it's kind of infuriating. Now, what I want to point out as well is Colback there as well. This isn't, I don't think this is a bug. This is me just complaining about my team at this point. But my God, some of our first touches are awful. I mean, they literally take, I mean, if it is a bug, then fine. But they take like a first touch and it will go about 6 yards in front of them. And you know, okay, there are players out there, aka Dirk Kuyt, with terrible first touches. But almost every player seems to have this god-awful first touch that will send the ball 10 yards further in front of them and give the ball away. I don't know what it is. Anyway, we then went to the Etihad, gave a good game, good thing with ourselves here. Colaccini actually put us in front in the first minute. Fortunately, another own goal, Vernon Anita. I won't show you this one. But don't let them ratings fool you. We gave a good performance, I think. I was kind of impressed with us. Admittedly, we're completely outpossessed, but for what we did when we had the ball was pretty good. Ferreira, again, not firing. Gouffran, again, not particularly proving to me that he deserved a place in the team. Daryl Janmat, brilliant play. He's been phenomenal for me. I think he might be my next captain, I think. Then got back on track. First win for like 6 weeks. With a 3-2 victory over Tottenham. Again, Tim Krul scoring an own goal. Herbie Emmanuelson scoring again. And Ferreira, look at this. This is just crazy. It was a 2-goal comeback, something which I got very much used to in FM14. I don't know about you, but in that game there was just so many friggin' comebacks, you know, from the opposition. That great strike from Emmanuelson. But yeah, I don't know what it was in FM14. There was just, every time I'd go 2-0 up, we would just lose all focus and just let the opposition put 2 immediately past us again. Very strange, and most of the time we would lose 3-2. Thankfully, the reverse happened this time. This obviously 2-0 up with cruising. I'm thinking, great, 18 minutes to go. Just see this out now, lads. Let's not do anything stupid. Moses Sissoko giving the ball. This Dragovic has been a good player for them. He was a pretty strong player in this game, actually. Christian Eriksen just appearing from nowhere. There's really, you know what's really funny as well? I've got Christian Eriksen in my fantasy football team, and Oh, look at that. Bounced off him. And you know, my first thought was when he scored was, get in, fantasy points. Oh, it's not real. So yeah, kind of shows you my frame of mind when it comes to that type of thing. And at this point, I'm panicking, thinking, Jesus Christ, Tottenham they've got the momentum and everything, but then FM pulls that out of the bag. And trust me, if that was me on the other end, I would be absolutely fuming. But you know, things like that, it happens to me. And yeah, defenders just seem a bit dozy at times. Then again, that's always the case in real life. We've got a 1-1 draw at Crystal Palace. Not great, could have been better. Again, didn't really get going. Ferreira again, I'll show you our goal. Obviously we had more possession here, rescuing us. Cabela getting injured, and Miles Jedinak in fact got sent off. But I think at this point I'm just like overloaded. I mean, look how many, I've got 2 back there. Wayne Hennessy, finally the goalkeeper, bug, playing into my advantage and just straight into the lap of Facundo Ferreira. Oh, it's gone straight off there. We then beat Liverpool 4-2. As I say, at this point we're flying. Erwin Manuelson with a 9. I think this video's gone on absolutely ages, so I'm not going to show any more highlights. I'll just skip through the results real quick. We've got a irritating 2-2 draw at West Brom. Horrible little game. I mean, this is over the Christmas period, so you know, as long as you don't lose, you're kind of not too disappointed. Went to the Stadium Light. Again, had to come from 1-0 down. Ferreira rescuing us again. Battered Walsall in the FA Cup 3rd round. That's when I played again a load of younger players. Played Adam Campbell. He got his first goal. I have to look at his name in this guy's name in the full thing. I always get it spelled wrong. It's Big Rimana. That's the one. You have to think about it before you actually say it. Played Williamson. He was actually okay, Mike Williamson, you know, for the most part, but he just wasn't, you know, in the long run good enough really. So he'll be heading up soon, I think. We then beat Burnley again, this time 3-1, and then we played Hull twice in the space of 5 days, and they beat us twice, both home and away, 2-1 and 1-0. So we got knocked out the FA Cup, which was a bit of a shame because I think we could have won it. And yeah, again, I played a few young players, played Aarons, who at this point this was way before he scored that great goal against City, you know, in the Capital One Cup, and yeah, this is before I'd really heard of him. I'm kind of regretting not putting him in now because he's, again, maybe he's a bit underrated. I don't know. But yeah, I haven't really utilised him all that much. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but whatever. We bounced back immediately with a 3-0 victory over Swansea. Riviere with 2 and Cabela scoring. Someone who've not used all that much, to be honest, Cabela, but you will see that change over the course of the remainder of the season. Riviere now really starting to get into stride with 2 more goals, as we drew with Aston Villa 2-2. Ali Sissoko scoring. That gives you an idea of how mad that game was. So yeah, that's where we're at the moment. My staff has not changed. Fortunately, Mike Ashley is still here, but he appears to be sort of normal. John Carver's my assistant manager. I haven't changed any of the staff, as I say. I have no need to be honest. I'm pretty much doing everything myself. The only thing I don't do is, I don't want to do, like, well, press conferences and stuff are just few and far between anyway, so they don't even count. This is how the club looks then, if you want anything like that. There's hot prospects, key players, all that sort of stuff. We're now rich, apparently. Finances, that's how our finances look. Obviously, we had a nice big peak there, about 46 million. That's gradually gone down. Obviously, I think through sales of players and things, that's now going back up again. I don't particularly pay much attention to the finance screen unless we are, you know, really plummeting or something. It's too weird and complex for me. So, right, that is how we look at the halfway. Well, it's not quite the halfway point. There's 14 games to go. Can we really win the title? I think it's a bit beyond us at this point. But if we were to get Champions League, this would be astonishing. If we can get Champions League qualification. I just want to point out as well, I think the club, I don't know if it's said before or not. In fact, let's have a look. Does it say? Competitions, that's the one. Qualify for the Europa League. This was originally just finishing the top half, but obviously after the good start we made, I changed that in January, and I just made it Europa League, just in case something goes horribly wrong. And to be honest, the difference between Europa League qualification and Champions League qualification budgets weren't that big a deal. So I decided to go with Europa League, play it a bit safer. Because what happens, of course, the midpoint of every FM save is when you're doing really well, by the time you get to about February, March, you start to completely fall down the table and your team loses all their ability, like in Space Jam. You know, when the aliens steal all the powers from the basketball players, that's what it's like. I think I've used that analogy about 5 million times, but it's perfect analogy. That's exactly what it's like sometimes, and hopefully it won't happen this time. So thank you very much for watching. I know part ones often get a lot more views than the rest of the series, so if you are new here, please do stick around and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And don't forget as well to check out other FM streamers. Go to my channel and you'll find on a list of other FM channels, video makers, content creators and streamers and so on, all in there. So thank you very much for watching. That will do it for me. I'm going to check back in with you at the end of the season, see how I've done. So thanks for watching. I'll see you then. Goodbye.